Okay, welcome back again. Jimmy Dagate here, sitting in for my son, Jason Dagate, and we want to welcome you to the program, and thanks for staying with us. We're going to go to the phone lines briefly, and I just wanted to make a comment. Oftentimes what I'll do when I get off from my law office, when I get home, if I'm home in time, I'll put on the TV set and try to catch up on the day's events, HTV as well. And last night, when I did that, although I had some indication of the horror of the crime from people telling me, I saw the coverage, and I guess a part of me was proud in that the professionalism of what I thought that Martin False, HTV, their crew did in covering such a tragic event, the professionalism of the police department, the Thibodaux Police Department, and the school system, the superintendent of educations. I mean, it was just good to see how professional, in such difficult times, how these people were able to compose themselves, and then the poor Jori's mother, how she managed the strength, to address an audience when grief was just oozing from her. I guess, it really was just a horrible story. It does continue, and unfortunately it will have to continue in the future as we go through the judicial process. But I did want to make a comment about the professionalism of Ms. Matthews at the Lafourche Parish School Board, Superintendent's Office, and then also Scott Silveri, the Chief of Police of Thibodaux, as well as Martin False's coverage. Very dignified. Nothing was sensationalized, and it was just a very respectful coverage in a tragic event, both from the victim and the alleged perpetrator. I mean, I think everybody was, treated fairly, although you just got to wonder. And I don't know. But I just felt like making a few comments, just a personal observation. You may want to comment on that story. You may want to comment on a completely different story, and you're free to do that here on Bayou Time. And we thank you for tuning in, and most importantly, we thank you for participating in the program. And with that, we're going to go to you. Thank you so much for calling, and welcome to Bayou Time.
Good to know, Jimmy.
Hey, how are you?
All right, you're looking good this evening, man.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that.
You're sure welcome. How the Saints game was?
Saints game was nice. It was all good. I mean, they won. Of course, it's preseason, but it was good just to go and give them some support, and it was a good time.
That's good. Man, it's a shame what happened to that little baby, man. Jimmy, that little kid. There ain't no reason in the world to kill a child, man. No. I don't think they deserve to give him that man a lawyer.
Yeah.
I mean, I know everybody got to have a lawyer, but that kind of kids look like they shouldn't deserve a lawyer, man.
Well, I know it's hard, but we do live with due process, as the chief of police very, I think, appropriately emphasized. Everybody has constitutional rights. Let justice do its thing, but let's make sure we do it the right way. But I understand your concern. I mean, that's just a natural feeling with such a horrible crime.
Oh, man, you shouldn't have did that, kid, man. If he didn't want the child, you should give it up for adoption or something. You shouldn't have did nothing like that, Jimmy.
No, I understand.
Yeah, man, I hate to see that happen like that. Jimmy, I want to bring up one more thing.
Sure.
I know you got a bunch of other calls. You're up too long.
Okay.
I've been to Houma and I've been to Thibodaux a bunch of times last week. And I know the gas went down pretty good over there.
Yeah, it sure did.
But over here where I live in Assumption Parish, it's still up to $3.50 a gallon. I don't know why it don't go down here.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it just depends on who's distributing it. I tell you to drive over here and gas up, but I guess by the time you get back, it's not going to pay yourself.
Yeah. I go to Bonnie and Clyde over there in Houma.
I got you.
Yeah, right across from HTV. Not too far from HTV.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I was there the other day.
Okay, all right, good.
Look, Jimmy, how the grandbaby?
Doing fine.
Well, look, have a good evening. Glad to
you.
see you doing fine, too, Jimmy.
Okay, thank you so much for the call. Thanks for calling, and welcome to Bayou Time.
Hey there, Mr. Jimmy.
Hey, what's up, man?
Just calling, tell the lady that lost her child due to the fact that evil, wicked, ignorant person that done that to her child. I'm gonna be saying a few prayers, which I usually don't do. I am born and raised Catholic. I do believe in the soul provider, and I do believe that the child's soul is in heaven for who that child was.
Right.
You know, I really don't know how to put it, but things get better in time. I hope in her case, and as well as the person that slammed that child against the wall because it wouldn't stop crying. I'm sure everybody's heard of that scenario. I mean, that difficulty on that.
Right.
That was in New Orleans. And they had another bad tragedy that happened to another child.
Well,
Don't remember.
And I, you know, is it happening more, or is just more coverage of it? I don't know, but it seems like I'm hearing more of that abuse of children, and I just don't understand it.
You and me both, Jimmy. I'm telling you right now, as a lawyer, what would you suggest the courts do with people like this?
Well,
I'm going to give my suggestion right after you give yours.
Well, I mean, you know, everybody has personal feelings of doing this and that. I mean, in any case of
But
this
you're a
nature,
lawyer.
well, I know, as from a lawyer standpoint, everybody needs to get due process, and then after that, you have to follow the edicts of our Constitution and the United States Supreme Court, to where you don't have cruel and unusual punishment. But the death penalty is available depending upon, you know, after the investigation. I mean, that's a tough call. The district attorney has to make that in the future. And that's based on a lot of factors that he needs to know all of the information, which we just don't know right now. But personally,
Right,
personally, I'm thinking death penalty would be appropriate, and I wouldn't have any reservation, assuming that the investigation plays out, you know, in seeing that performed. And I don't say that lightly, because I personally struggle with the death penalty in a sense that I want to make sure, and it's got to be that kind of a horrific crime, in my opinion.
Exactly, because, you know, this should never happen. In my opinion, I'll just flat out say it. The death penalty is too good for people like this.
All right.
I would make them suffer Indian style.
I understand.
Stuff their head in an ant pile for a week or two.
I heard
and
that.
then do it again again.
And I heard that last night, and I understand the feelings there, but we have to look at it within the law, within the Constitution.
Yeah, I got where you're coming from.
Right. But I understand. Look, thank you
I
for
was
calling.
Gonna call on the, I was going to call on the saints and everything, but this ain't the time to be bragging on the saints. It's time for healing for these people.
Yeah, you know, it's a tough thing. Right.
I'm just going to cut out on that one and slide on out, and
thank you for calling.
I'll talk about the saints later.
Sounds good. Thank you for calling. And of course, we were talking about, if you're just joining us, the recent murder of Jori Lirette, and it happened in Thibodeau, which is a difficult thing to really understand. But again, the phone lines are open, and let's hear what you have to say. Thank you for calling, and welcome to Bayou Time.
Yeah, good evening, Jimmy.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. Look, I just need to say a couple of things.
Okay, sure, go ahead.
First of all, when I saw the news when it was putting this guy in the police car, it looked like to me he had a little smile on his face.
Okay.
I mean, that's just my opinion. You know, it might be just my eyes. But instead of appointing him an attorney on our tax dollars, I think they should send him straight to the electric chair.
Right.
And I'll be happy to go pull a switch.
Okay, I understand
More
that.
than happy to go pull a switch.
I understand your opinion, and I understand those feelings.
And another thing about this war going on here with the Taliban, I think what they should do, everybody on death row, send them on the front line. Instead of getting all our innocent soldiers killed, everybody on death row, send them to the front line. They get killed, so what? They was going to die anyway.
All right.
Instead of wasting our tax dollars.
I understand what you're saying. Thank you.
And that's the way I feel. You know, it might be just my opinion, but...
Well, no, it is your opinion. You're entitled to it, and I can understand that opinion.
And I thank you. You have a good night.
And thank you for calling and participating in the program. Really appreciate that. Sorry for having to put a mint in my mouth while the caller was coming, but my throat was a little dry, and I wanted to make sure it was going to be able to stay talking. Thanks for calling. Welcome to Bayou Time.
Mr. Jimmy. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
We're not.
What's that?
We're not doing good.
Well, I understand that. No, and look.
We need to get that man back to home over here.
Yeah.
We're going to show him how to chop off a head.
Well, yeah.
Because they got a lot of people that's upset about that.
No, I understand.
It's not hurting only the family and the mama. It's hurting the friends and family.
It hurts.
And the neighborhood.
It hurts the community. Yeah, you're right. I agree. I mean, it's just, you know, it just puts an eerie feeling in you that, man, I live so close to this, and I'm, you know, how could that happen? You know, there's all these questions going through people's mind, much less the grief, of course, that the mother is
what that
suffering.
man was going through. That man was in the service and everything.
Right. Well,
he knew what he was going through. Now we know what we're going through. I think we need to do the same thing to him, what he did to that poor child. Because that poor child, when he walked into the zinc, or brought him in a wheelchair to the zinc, that poor child didn't know what he was going through.
No, you're absolutely right. But you know.
But bring him back to home, and we're gonna take care of him.
Okay. Look, thank you for calling.
Thank you, brother.
Okay, I appreciate the call, and I do want to mention this. People are entitled to their opinion, but I just want to make sure we all, everybody is presumed innocent until proven guilty. I feel like I need to say that because I just want to be, you know, fair about things. And I understand that people are going, well, there's no fairness, and you know, in what will occur. I understand that, but so that I don't have to keep saying it when people do call in, I just want to repeat that people, under our Constitution and our civilized society, and this was obviously not a civilized act, but people are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. And we'll continue with your phone calls. Thank you for calling. Welcome to Bayou Time.
Hello?
Hey, how are you?
How you doing, Mr. Jimmy?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Listen, that was a bad thing that happened, but people need to realize they can't rush the judgment because a lot of bad things done happen.
Right.
And it's gonna always happen until Jesus come back. I realize a lot of people want to see this man go to the death chamber or be, you know, sentenced to death, but they got to be careful from wanting blood like that. Vengeance belongs to God. Even though it was a bad thing that happened, you got to pray to God, let God handle that situation.
I understand what you're saying.
He's going to get what's due to him. And Jesus said forgiveness is for anybody. So if he asks God to forgive him for his sins, and God forgive him, then he will see Jesus. But if he don't, then he's going to get his just punishment, regardless if we send him to the chair or not. He's going to get it.
Okay.
Remember last week, they had a lady call about her son being murdered, and his accuser, person whoever shot him or murdered him, wasn't caught last week. Every time somebody do something, it affects the whole family. People don't think.
Right.
That little baby is well taken care of. We got a lot of children suffering that we don't even hear about. And this is just something that people just need to realize and take a step back and let the courts do what they have to do.
Okay, I appreciate those comments. Okay, thank you very much. And I certainly appreciate all of those comments. Why don't we do this? We're going to take a break and we'll continue our discussion when we return.